What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them.
Welcome out, everyone. All of you great decoders around the world, wherever you may be, both male and female. My name is Logan, and this is Decode Your Reality, and today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the Kabbalah. This will be Kabbalah Decoded. I know a lot of you probably jumped at viewing this presentation, and as usual, I will suggest that you put on a pair of headphones, you block out the outside world. This one, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't stop decoding it. It just kept going and going. I literally had to pull the plug on going deep down the rabbit hole. And I'm going to show you the major chunks using my methodology of how this all works. And to me, it's just another story told in a different mannerism, all leading to the same boss. But let's get started on this Kabbalah Decoded. And the very beginning of this presentation, I decided to use this gentleman right here, the great Jim Croce. You see, before my presentations, I often look for songs, music to play to represent what I'm going to be kind of talking about. And this was the song that popped into my head. I used to listen to this as a kid. The song is called Time in a Bottle. This is the song that popped into my head while trying to figure out what kind of song I'm going to use for the beginning of this presentation, and this was it. And there it was, right off the bat, the supernatural using me to show you this presentation. His name in numerology, James Joseph Croce, and it equals the flower of life. Interesting, he died in a plane crash at the age of 30. Wait till I show you how important that 30 is. He converted to Judaism because his wife was Jewish. Talking about a Jewish system. It's just mind-blowing, this stuff here. I mean, the tree of life is the flower of life, and it's all about time in a bottle. This representing the bottle, being stuck in time. And this is the comedy in my life, ladies and gentlemen, on how I start these presentations off. How this supernatural uses me to show you this and how the machinations of this reality works. It doesn't matter what system. Get decoded and it doesn't matter. But this was it, starting it off, and here it is. Here's time in a bottle. So this is kind of really this. I could just describe this to you and walk away, and you'll have a better understanding of what Kabbalah is all about. It's this right here. In the center of your screen is the picture of Earth. It's time in a bottle. This right here is actually a xenon bulb used in movie theaters. And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, we are living inside of a movie. Earth is a movie set. Check out my Hollywood Decoded. Check out my so many decodes now. I don't have, but this is it. This is a xenon bulb. Wait till I show you how xenon is tied to this whole thing. This is the cosmic egg. This would be the firmament that's wrapped around Earth, and then inside here is where all the energy is. It's where all of us, and this is the tree of life's right in here. So the Kabbalah system fits inside this bulb. Time in a bottle. This is how it all works. This is just a fractal down. Hollywood movies is just a so below to the as above, and then Earth is a fractal above that. But this right here is what it's all about, right there. There's the big secret out of the bag. No more secrets, ladies and gentlemen. There's no more hidden secrets with the system. What I'm about to show you, there will be no more secrets. I will show you the ins and outs of everything. So here's the guy, Gershom, who really kind of, I guess from my research, made this whole thing come to light. I know there's going to be some, I mean, if you go to the whole Kabbalah system, you're going to get into a lot of parts here. And the tree of life, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to get a lot. You're going to get Johann, this guy right here, who's a part of it as well. And interesting, he was born on the 29th, died on the 30th, which is kind of interesting because it's the actual numerology of Gershom and his last name, the 29 and the 30. See, so just kind of updated it, if you will, right? Updated the Kabbalah system. And in the Chaldean numerology, the oldest numerology cipher on the planet. It's 59, and of course, the tree of life, Kabbalah, the whole tree of life and the tree of knowledge, it's all here wrapped up into one. It's the 59. We're all playing the game of life. 59 is the 17th prime number. 17 is Yod He Vah He. 17th is the 7th prime number, which is the chakras. It's all here, folks. It's all wrapped up in this system. This is just another story told a different way. You can read it through any of the ancient texts. We're just going to keep going with this. So here is his name in Hebrew. Okay, Hebrew. You can reduce this down as well, but now you're going to get into and tie into the Gnostic demiurge, Yaldabaoth. Because 109 is the 29th prime number. 29 is tied to copper. We're going to get into copper, man, because it's the blue blood, et cetera, et cetera. It's all going to be here, but Yaldabaoth, to me, is going to be the Yod He Vah He, which is going to be Allah. You can bring the Quran into this. Does not matter. I'm going to support this as I go along, as I show you these things through using this methodology. Speaking spells through words, using mathematics, using the cards, the tarot, the whole nines, the whole shebang, as I often do. So here's his birth to death date to cement what I'm showing you here about this guy right here, Gershom. He was born on the 5th of December. It's the King of Clubs Day. Okay, I'm using this chart right here. Here's the boilerplate chart for the cards of illumination. And here's December right here, and here's the 5th, King of Clubs. Just so you know, I'm going to be very transparent. Okay, this is the 26th card in the deck using the cards of illumination and its methodology, and that's tied to the numerology of the Yod He Vah He from the Holy Bible, the Old and New Testament. There it is. Bam! 26. Okay, his birth card is tied to the King of Clubs. And then he passes on the 21st of February, which is the 4 of Diamonds. And then you get the New Age name, came out in 1871 from the Jehovah's Witness organization. Charles Taze Russell just reformatted it, repackaged it into a different branding. Same story, told in a different way. And it's Jehovah. And there's the 30. Okay, and you know, I'm going to show you this a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen. So he's born on the Yod He Vah He, the card, the King of Clubs, and then he passes on the New Age name, the 4 of Diamonds, which was in 1982. Passes at the age of 84. That's tied to Eye in the Sky. So here it is. Here's the actual Hebrew spelling, the numerology of I will be what I will be. I guess this is the most popular in Judaism. I am that I am. 30 right there. And there he is. He passes tied to the 30. See, folks, this is how tightly woven this script is. You think this guy had a choice? This guy's life was being used by the supernatural. And this is no exception what I'm showing you here. Right there, 30. I am that I am. So it gets into the Yahweh character, the Yod He Vah He, which is tied right to Ra. So you see, you're going to predate Judaism, you're going to predate Christianity, and you're going to go all the way back to ancient Egypt. And you're going to get the sun god Ra. And here's where we bring alchemy into this, because you take the spoken word and you bring it into alchemy. This is called alchemology. That's what I've coined it. Taking alchemy, bringing the letters and numbers of the spelling of these words, and then bringing them into alchemy, matching these number outcomes, and we get the 10-5-6-5. And we get neon, boron, carbon, boron. 20. There's the 26. Neon. The 10, tied to Capricorn, tied to Saturn. Chronos, 19, tied to the sun. And when you say it through numerology, these 4 elements, there's the tie-in, there's the 88. And we go right to this 88th element, radium. It's Ra's element. 88 plus 226 is 314. That's going to give you pi. You know, notice Ra has the symbol of Venus, which is the Ankh, because Venus is all about love, and this whole reality is based on procreation. The game needs players. It needs you and I. So that way the spirit can incarnate into human beings and play out its own game. That's how I feel it works. And this is no exception. So there it is. So the Yod He Vah He tied straight up to Ra, which is tied straight up to Yaldabaoth. Okay, which is tied up to Allah, because Allah is Yaldabaoth, the Lord of Sirius. You're going to get into Sirius as well. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm dead serious. But it really comes down to this bulb. This xenon bulb, and here it was. You do the alchemy of the Yod He Vah He through the alchemology, neon, boron, carbon, boron, going to the trusty calculator. You add those up and you're going to get 54.01. And there it is, right there's the connection, the xenon, and it's the xenon bulb. So this right here, to summarize this, okay? We live inside of the cosmic egg, and the tree of life fits in there. And the flower of life, this is Earth right here. And we live inside of a movie set. It's a self-contained system. Kind of like a terranium, if you will. And this 54 is huge because if you ever seen the movie They Live, it was News Station 54, which was broadcasting the hypnotic trance. Obey, consume, procreate. Obey, consume. The game needs players. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. That equals 131, tied to the song Brain Damage off of Pink Floyd's 1973 Dark Side of the Moon. It's all in there, ladies and gentlemen. And it comes down to this right here. As I've been saying and showing in so many different decodes, and many of you have been showing it as well, we live inside of a movie. It's lights, camera, action. Hollywood is a fractal down. We are a fractal up, and the as above is a fractal above us. We're inside of a movie. We're being watched. We're being used to create this reality. Mankind is not in control of this reality. See, he's got the 2 cards, 26 and 30. You add that up, it's 56. There it is, 56. And it just keeps going, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to continue to show that, but it comes down to this right here, the flower of life, which I showed with the opening of Jim Croce, and his name matching up to that, which is the song that popped into my head to start this presentation off. I had no idea. I didn't go out of my way to try to mock you or screw you over, pull the woolly over your eyes. I just decided to say, what kind of song? And that was the song, and it matched the 63. And there's the flower of life. And of course, this is how tightly woven this code is, using numbers and numerology. Flower of Life 63, here's the 63rd card in the tarot, the Queen of Swords. Now these in the tarot have a different outcome than the cards of illumination. This is going to represent air. This is going to represent earth. But no matter which way you slice it, it's the Queen. Of course, the Q is the 17th letter, tied to the Yod He Vah He. Here is the numerology of all 10 Sephiroths. Not including dot, and we're going to get into that, or da'at, however you want to say it. Excuse my pronunciations of some of these Hebrew words. I'm not that efficient in the Hebrew language. So those of you that are going to be the Hebrew language police, please spare me a little bit, okay? But here is the 10 Sephiroths right here. 10 of them, and I've broken them down into the single digits. I'm going to do the double digits as well, but it's the 51, and there it is. You see the tie-in? Right there, into the cards of illumination. The Queen of Spades is the Queen of Swords. She's the 63rd card. Flower of Life is 63. And there it is. And it fits right into that Flower of Life. And you get the air in there. And that's why this is the air suit right here. and she's the earth. Make no mistake about it, this is all tightly woven into this code. Man did not code this. They can become aware of the code for sure, but at this layer, this level, wow. Anyway, let's bring in all 15 letters. 14 at first. Let's bring in all 14 letters. We're going to leave out. We're going to bring in da'at here in a little bit. But here are all 14. I say archetypes because I feel like that's what all this is. You have the 10 sephiroths, and then you have the beginning stages of before spirit comes down into matter. You have the Ayin, the Ein Sof, the Or Ein Sof, and the Zimzum. These 4 right here was God before it decided to come down here and play out the game of life. And when you bring all of them together, it becomes the 666. This is the great beast, including the sun, the moon, the celestials, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. 666. That's bringing all 14 into the play, and wait till I show you when we bring in the 15th here in just a little bit. So here's what it looks like when you break it down all into single digits. This is where it's in its compound form. But here it is when you break it down into the single digits, all 14, and it becomes the number 81, which is, it's the mirror of the 18. The word mirror equals 18. As above, so below, the mirror. But this 81 is huge. Check out my cannabis decoded. The 81 is tied to thallium, which is tied to the Greek goddess Thalos, which is tied to cannabis. But it's this 81. And you know, as fate would have it, just the other night when I was decoding this, I decided to put on a movie when I was eating my salad. And I decided to play Man of Steel. I was on Amazon Prime. Thank you, Amazon Prime. And I decided I was going to watch a movie, and I'm like, oh, Man of Steel, I haven't seen that in a while. And I was just kind of going through it, watching some of the good scenes. And, you know, Superman being from, it's Kal-El. And he's from Krypton. And there's the clue. See, Krypton, the average is 83. But it has an atomic mass of 81, which has a natural abundance of 11%, which we're going to get into because Kabbalah equals 11. But Krypton means seek the secret, the code, the secret code. So you see, it starts with the letter K. This starts with the letter K. You think that's an accident? There it was, the 81. And we could tie it to thallium, which is the 204, and that's going to be tied to our DNA, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, just for fun, Henry Cavill was born on May 5th. May 5th is the 125th, the 126th day of the year, and there it is. It's one of the I am that I am. There's the I. You see, folks? Krypton is 126 through the Greek spelling. See how all this ties together? So, Superman. And, you know, notice the suit. Notice the suit that he's wearing. What is it made out of? Very, very interesting. And I say it's tied to Yaldabaoth, it's tied to the reptilian, draconian. All that stuff plays in there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen. That's just one clue. So that was the intro. That was the intro. Let's get into the topics of conversation now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this one's going to blow your mind. If you're a fan of this Jewish mysticism system, the Torah, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be in here. Sacred geometry. This one really is a gem of a decode, I think, anyway. Number one is we're going to break down Kabbalah. Number two, we're going to break down the hidden one, Da'at. Number three, phosphorus. And number four, Ein Sof, which is the infinite. Which is kind of really the big takeaway out of the 4 main archetypes as above the tree of life. So let's get into the first topic now, ladies and gentlemen. Kabbalah, where it all starts from. I'm going to start off by breaking it down with the Chaldean. And it's going to go right straight to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Because, you know, of course, the Torah and Kabbalah being a form of the Torah, you know, it's a form of Judaism. I mean, it's right there. There's the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Straight up. The Tetragrammaton. Straight up. There's the 17. And it's then we bring in the tarot to get the picture. How valuable the tarot is. These are heavily influenced by Jewish mysticism. It's the star card. 17th card. And we're all stars down here. Of course, I say it's spirit coming down here and becoming the star and using us. That's the voice in your head that owns you. You don't own it. You're just renting space here. You can't turn it off, the voice in your head. It just keeps going. So this is the star card. 17 is the 7th prime number, which is tied to the 7 chakras. And the chakras are in the Tree of Life and Tree of Knowledge. This is both the Tree of Life and Tree of Knowledge. But here's the breakdown for it in the Hebrew. All the way down to single digits. Here's Kabbalah spelled out. Broken down, it's the number 11. And of course, as fate would have it, what is the 11th letter in the English alphabet? Well, it's the letter K, which is what this whole thing starts off with. Kabbalah. I mean, you know, the interesting part, I don't know if anybody of you caught it, but if you notice it, but this is why the Quran is in here, because how do you say this word? Allah, Kabbalah, Allah. It's got it right in there. There's no separation on any of these systems. They're all owned by the same boss. It's a big Ponzi scheme down here. Ponzi scheme is 53, which is iodine. All right, so this number 11 through Kabbalah, through the numerology breakdown, is tied to this card in the cards of illumination, the 52 cards in a typical deck of playing cards. How valuable these are. Wow. It's one of the 3 immovable cards. This card does not move in the whole system. It's the Jack of Hearts. And this is card number 11. And there it was. And you know, this Jack of Hearts, it's in the tarot. It's tied to the Knight of Cups. We're going to get into that. But in the alchemy aspect of it, right off the bat, with a bang, it's sodium. And Jesus says, ye are the salt of the earth. Sodium is tied to batteries, because you got the salt bridge and batteries, and you know, we're living inside of a battery. This is a battery, folks. This is a battery right there. Make no mistake about it. This self-contained system is a battery. Mankind's being used for their energetic expressions. The Greek coined it ambrosia. And there's nothing new under the sun. 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. There's the 22. 11 protons matching the numerology of Kabbalah. See how all this stuff works? It's so beautiful when you really look at it, instead of complaining about these kinds of systems. And here's the tarot right here. It's the Knight of Cups. The Jack of Hearts turns into the Knight of Cups. It's card number 48. And then you get right into the Tree of Life, which is what this is. This is actually the Tree of Life and the Tree of Knowledge wrapped up into one. It's both of those. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but I'm going to support it as I continue to go along with this presentation. But there it was right there. I mean, right off the bat, connecting the numerology with the cards of illumination, alchemy, and the tarot, going right back to numerology is 48. And this 48 was huge because it's tied to the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life is tied to the placenta. Have you seen my baby Decoded? Even if you don't have kids, please go watch my baby, because all of you were babies at one time. And the placenta in numerology equals the number 30, which is tied to the New Age name Jehovah, the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, which is also tied to the word demiurge. The Gnostics call the Lord of this reality the demiurge, meaning 2. But this card right here, tied to the Tree of Life, means looking for love. That's right, because you see, when spirit incarnates into matter, which is all of us as babies, it now is searching out for love, whether it wants to hump and procreate, or it wants to create a business, or it wants to create a new religion, because it's not satisfied with the other 10,000 out there. So it's got to create a new one, because it gets bored just like we do. It's pretty simple to see. So that was that. Let's get into the hidden one now. Let's get into the hidden one. And this ties it all together, ladies and gentlemen. This ties it all together. So there it is, the hidden one. Supposedly this one right here is where all of them come together and they combine into this one. And of course it's number 11. And of course, you know, Kabbalah is 11 in numerology. But let's break down this word, da'at. And here it is in Hebrew. Okay? The numerology, going right to the source. It's the number 15. And I just wanted to show, you know, because there are a lot of people out there, fans of the coding of words into numbers, which is the true essence of the word gematria. I use numerology. I don't code, I decode. But anyway, for you that are fans of the full Hebrew, here it is, 470 and 400. When you reduce it down, it's the 474, but it's the 15. If you go and look in mathematics, this is a pretty big deal. But 15, what is 15? Well, in the tarot, it's tied right to the devil card. So what does knowledge equal? The Tree of Knowledge. Who's got the Tree of Knowledge and who's got the story tied to that? Well, it's the serpent and the devil. You positively will not die. You see, so knowledge can be a curse. Once you get deep down into the layers of this, there's so many, everything becomes a possibility. And then you realize you know absolutely Nothing. And I know this to be true, folks. I know this is my truth. But anyway, here are the full 15 archetypes, starting from the Ayin, Ensof, Or Ensof, and Zimzum, which is kind of like the starting point before God decided to come down here and become man or woman through the tree of life, through the chakras, the planetary positions, because this all represents the celestials, Mercury, Mars, Venus, all that. They're all in there. The as above, so below. And I broke all these down, and here are the double digits now. Okay, the compound numbers of what these all were, and they equal the number 2. This is really big, so please pay attention to this. All the numerology of all 15 archetypes. Of course, 15, again, I'm going to go right back there, you see? So all of them, including before the tree life happens, it's 15. And that's the knowledge you should know, and it's tied to that. That's what runs this reality, ladies and gentlemen, which is just light, by the way. But anyways, here are the total additions of all 15 archetypes. I say archetypes. I call each one of these an archetype. 285. And this is a big one. So now we're going to bring alchemy into this to get more layers to show you where it's at. And it's this element right here called copernicium, named after Nicholas Copernicus. Nicholas, Saint Nick, old Saint Nick, Santa Claus. I'm going to get into that. There it was. There's the bridge, the 285. If you look at Saturn's magic square, what are the 3 digits that are circled going from the top left, the bottom left to the top right? The 285 in that diamond shape. Go look at Saturn's magic square. Saturn tied to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Straight up. Chronos, Father Time. And then, here's the picture of copernicium or copernicium. Look at the picture of it. And use your logic and discernment now. Critical thinking. I mean, what is this representing here? Right here. It's spirit coming down into matter. Coming through this is the cyclotron, right? Coming down into the game of life. That's what I say, that, and I know they're going to give you a different meaning, but that's my interpretation of it based upon what I know and what I see here. Spirit coming into matter. And then this is really what this is all about. This element right here, copernicium, is made up of these 2 elements, zinc and lead. Combining these 2 together, 82 and 30, 112 protons. That's how they get this element. This element is created by man, by these 2 elements right here. Think about what I'm showing you here now too, is, we are lead. This reality. And lead is one of the main elements of Saturn, Chronos, Father Time. Lead, which is also called plumbum, which equals 33. But it's zinc and lead. And this, how big this was, the 207 in my prison planet decodes, checked all those out. And then we can also get another layer to that. I'm going to come back to that in a second. See, the copernicium, the 285, it's got 112 protons. And then you just go to this element who has 112 as its atomic mass, and it's element 48, and we just go right back to the tree of life. You see how beautiful this is? And the 48th card in the tarot, looking for love. Spirit looking for love. And it's the Jack in the box, Jack, the Joker, starting with the letter J, which is the fish hook. That's why it's Jehovah with the J. J is the 10th letter in the English alphabet. The Yod is the 10th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. See how all that connects? There's no separation with any of this. That's how beautiful this system is. So going back to the zinc and the lead, which is what this element's made up of, we get into Santa Claus. That's why Christmas to me is just such a comical expression of this reality. The only thing it means to me is it's the celebration of being a human being. That's all it means. Forget about the presents, the Christmas tree, the lights, the whatever you want to sing and all that. Forget it. The mistletoe. It's this Santa Claus right there, 30. Jehovah's 30. Demiurge 30. It's Santa Claus going down the chimney. The analogy is it's the infinite coming down through light and becoming man or woman. It's spirit into matter. That's what this means. Spirit. So Kabbalah, what is Kabbalah? Spirit into matter. That's what it means. Straight up. Spirit into matter. And he has presents for you. It's called the gift of life. That's what this whole thing is all about. celebrating life. And there is the connections right here. Straight up in the same cipher. 30, 30, 30. Gnostic, New Age, and the mainstay on the world stage. It's all right there, all from zinc. Ladies and gentlemen, when you add up the first 4 archetypes, Ayin, Ensof, Or, Ensof, and Zimzum, when you reduce it all the way down, guess what number you get? 30. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this here just a little bit. I'm going to break it up. Don't you worry about it. So here it is. Here is it broken down in all single digits. The first 4. God before decided to come down here and play out the game of life through this system, calling it the God. 7995. And when you do the zinc and the lead, which is found from Camperticium, it's, zinc. Zinc is the 30. So this essentially is the 30. Zinc is Santa Claus waiting to come down the chimney, come down into the flower of life. And when you add up these 2 elements, zinc and lead, you get 271.906 there on the right side of the decimal, the feminine side of the decimal, that's the yin yang, and 271 is the 58th prime number. 58 is tied to the word puppet master. How about this 7995? When you say that in numerology, it's the number 76. And what is the number 76? As I've been showing so many times, it's the Wizard of Osmium. And it's also tied to the word Nephilim. Nephilim in Hebrew is 76. So then you get the fallen angel story. Now, I know some of you are going to say, there it is. This whole system's corrupt and it's this and that. Folks, I can tell you, show any other ancient text. It's all the same story told in a different way. Someone was bored. They had to put it their way. That's using the identity. 271, 58, Puppet Master, the Wizard of Oz. It's all right there. So let's keep going on the first 4. These first 4 archetypes, Ayin, Ensof, Or, Ensof, and Zimzum, the infinite Ensof, they add up to the number 30. So I just got lead there to show you what it's going to become. Spirit into matter, lead, but it's this element zinc. Okay, and this card is the 30th card in the deck, the 8 of Wands. This is lightning in a bottle. The word lightning equals 30. Lightning, the thunderbolts of Zeus. Then you get into Greek mythology. Lightning is 30. This is very fast movement, this card. That's right. This is the infinite deciding to come down here and become matter. And now it's very quick. That's the first 4 archetypes out of these total 15 right here. And then you get into this one. And this one is huge. So now we just break down all 11 Sephiroths, including Da'at or Da'at. We break all 11 of them. Single digit reduction, 57, ladies and gentlemen. And in this one, summarized it so beautifully. So we have spirit coming down to play the game through the tree of life, tree of knowledge, and now it gets into this element right here, the 57, it's Lanthanum. And those of you, big shout out to Jason from Archaics, the Phoenix event, here's that 138. What do you think clears the board? The Phoenix rises. It's tied to the tree of life and tree of knowledge, which is what we make up, which is tied to the flower of life, which is tied to the xenon bulb. We're living inside of a movie set. We're being watched. This is the icon that the Royal Society of Chemistry uses to describe Lanthanum. This right here, it's the all-seeing eye watching over you. And the clues, there's so many of them. This number's a clue. This lens is made in Japan. There it is, the Japan. Let me zoom in. There it is, made in Japan. And I'm just going to break that down, and there it is. Bam! It's tree. You see, Japan, the land of the rising sun, spirit into matter. Jah, praise Jah, and then Pan, the god Pan, Japan. There it is, 16, zinc, the start of it all, 16. The word hell equals 16. The word tree, here's the original spelling of tree in the original numerology of tree where it originally came from. One of the originations, it's in the Hebrew, 16. I mean, even tree, if you break it down from the single point, it's 7 and 9, that's gold. Okay? You are the tree of life. This is you as a human being right here playing out the game of life. This is the so below, the planets are the as above. And then you get the infinite above that. right there. And this is so big, this 57, tied to all 11 Sephiroths. Remember, Kabbalah starts with the letter K. The 11th letter in the English alphabet is the letter K. So there, and then here it is. Here's the tarot. So we got the tarot card for the 30. Now, how about the tarot card for the 57, which is tied to the tree of life and tree of knowledge? It's this 7 of swords. And this card right here can mean strategies, but it also can mean deception. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly. 7 of swords, when you say that through numerology, it goes to our DNA. 64 possible codons in our DNA. 64 squares on a chessboard. What do you think we're playing out? This is a chessboard right here. The black and white, duality. And this 57 is huge. If you watched my DNA Decoded, there it is. It's tied to the double helix. Double helix being 46. Here's the 46 card in the deck right here. And it's the 7 of spades, and the 7 of spades converts into the 57th card, which is the 7 of swords. It's our DNA, ladies and gentlemen. Our DNA is tied to Kabbalah and the tree of life and tree of knowledge. There it is. You're seeing it now. All these connections to me are absolutely undeniable. Undeniable. And then you get into this right here. And this is kind of the comedy. This is where I feel the architect, whatever created this reality, that it's a stand-up comedian. And it likes to have fun. It likes to joke around. It likes a lot of humor. It likes to laugh, just like we do. And 57 is tied to the Truman Show. You see that, ladies and gentlemen, right there? The Truman Show. You're on television. You're live in front of the whole world. Right there, you're seeing it. Maybe for the first time. But there are no more secrets with all this, these systems. They're all the same, just told a different way. There it is, Stairway to Heaven. You know, Jim Carrey climbing the stairs at the end, making the cross at the end as he left the square rectangle into the darkness, right? The 57. This is just so, and this element means to lie hidden. Well, there's no more lying hidden anymore, because now you're seeing it. This is also tied straight up to Yaldabaoth, the Gnostic demiurge, which to me is the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, which is Allah, which is Mazda, which is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, whatever you want to package it, however you want to say it. See, there's no reason to argue or divide anymore because they're all the same. It's just a big Ponzi scheme. All right, I got a lot going on here, so let me narrate this for you. So starting over here is the first 4 archetypes, Ayin, Ensof, Or Ensof, and Zimzum. And this is, the infinite before it decided, this is spirit before it decided to come down here and go across the water with the Spirit of God. That's the 30 when you add them up. 7, 9, 9, 5, 30, zinc. Okay? And then here are the 11 Sephiroths. Keter all the way down to Malkuth and Da'at. And here they are right here from the single digits, 57. And when you add these up through alchemy, okay, you get 202.835, and then just like that, we get into the trickster. We get into Mercury. I use that lightly, the trickster. Mercury being the communicator between the sun and Earth, or the sun and the other planets, however you want to look at it. And, those of you that have been kind of paying attention to other decoders, really, the 201 is this, and well, now you know. It's tied to Mercury. So the Pope staying in apartment number 201 because it's tied to Mercury. And it's because it's tied to the number 80. And I'm going to show that in a minute. This is isotope 202. The average is 200. The fallen angel story is tied to the 200, tied to Mercury. Mercury's tied to the Kundalini, which is tied to our DNA. Okay, this is all tied together. You're seeing this, and there it is, the tree of life. So when you look at the 201 and you're making your connections, I know some of you say Society of Jesus is 201. What do you think they're studying and going through? Judaism. Check out my Society of Jesus. That's my opinion, but I supported it. But there it is. Tree of life. This is the tree of life now. It's the 80. Through the compound numbers, it can be the 16 if you break it all the way down, the 7 and the 9. But when you do it from the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, in the double digit format, it's the number 80. What is the tree of life? Mercury. What is Mercury representing? The Caduceus, the 2 serpents, which is what? It's this. Tree of life, tree of knowledge. Mercury. Mercury's 23 in numerology. 23 is called the royal star, the lion. And then over here, I decided to look and find, because we're talking about light now, so I'm going to use the string of the golden ratio, the numbers, how valuable this is. I've been using this more than the string of pi because I feel like this is light. And light comes down and goes into pi, which is the perfect circle. But this is the string of the golden ratio, 1.61. And I'm punched in the 202. There it is. It's really small, but here it is. This is where the 202 is found. And the all total digits equals 11077. And if you take the 11 and you add it to the 77, you know what you're going to get? 88. And if you know your astrology, you'll know that Mercury has that 88 tied right to it, the orbital period of Mercury. 88. The communicator, time travel. What makes time travel possible? Tied to that 88 yttrium, et cetera, tied to radium and Ra. So ladies and gentlemen, let's now get into the next topic called phosphorus, because now we're going to talk about Lucifer, because Lucifer is tied right into Kabbalah. Oh yeah, it is. Phosphorus being the light bringer. Okay? So I decided to look at how many archetypes there are and then connecting the dots. Now we know earlier that the first four, the A and Ensof, Or Ensof, and Zimzom, before spirit came into matter, spirit's up here, it's 30, right? That equals the number 30, which is zinc, which is tied to the roof, and Santa Claus, and the Demiurge, and Jehovah. Flower of Life, 63, it's all right there. But then there are 15 archetypes, including all of the Sephiros. So here's the 15th element, and it's phosphorus. And phosphorus from the Greek is tied to Lucifer. But there's the 30 right there. It has a weight of 30. So it's tied right into all this. And then it's this right here is a big one. Here is the ball and stick model of white phosphorus. This is right off the Royal Society of Chemistry, which is the icon they use for phosphorus. What does that look like? Well, do you think I'm trying to stretch anything here? Well, no, not with, see, the architect of the universe, it's called light. It's called light. That's it. If you want a good summarization of it, we can get rid of all these other nouns that we want to call. It's light. Light. And it's tied to Lucifer. Straight up. Square and compass. Square and compass is 47, which is tied to this right here. 47 is the 15th prime number. 15 right on that phosphorus. 15 archetypes. 47 tetragrammaton. So is Lucifer the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh? Well, I'm going to leave that answer to you. I'm going to let you answer that. But the evidence is here for you to mull over. All right, but I'm going to keep going with this right here. So let's look at the number 87 now. How does it tie into phosphorus? Well, all 15 archetypes, again, when you break it down to the single digits, it's the 87. Okay, the equals 87. And we know phosphorus through the numerology equals the number 54. Okay, so then I decided to find and locate where's the number 87 in the string of the golden ratio. Well, I didn't have to go far. It's at the 10th and 11th decimal digit. Of course, this is the 11th letter, the 10 and 11, and there it was. See, this mathematical pattern here is like the diamond, man. It's like, it's besides the alchemy and stuff, the golden ratio is all about light and the measurement of light, and it's just so beautiful. And it will tell you the narrative. And it's telling us the narrative right here. Okay, all 15 archetypes from the beginning all the way down to the end at Malkuth, it's going to be tied to Lucifer. And I mean, the symbol, the sigil fits right over there. I mean, I'm not the first to show this, but it may not be perfectly exact, but it fits. And this to me are undeniable layers, especially the 15 being the 47 being the 15th prime number, and tetragrammaton equals 47. Keep in mind, Washington, D.C. equals 47, White House equals 47. What do you think is running the White House? What do you think is running the government of the United States of America? Well, it's the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, folks. Why do you think they put the hand on the Bible before they do the inauguration? Hello, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And then here's another layer of decoding that I do. Especially when these are big outcomes, you say these, you speak the magic spell. 16180339887. So you spell it all out and look at what you get. 200. 200 is tied to the average weight of Mercury. Light and Mercury, the sun and Mercury, they're best buddies. Look how many letters it is. 47, right there. See? Phosphorus. So Kabbalah is now completely tied to Lucifer. It's completely tied to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, the Tetragrammaton, and it's completely tied to Yaldabaoth. Straight up. And you're seeing it now. This is the support I'm bringing to the table here. And I got more to show you, so let's keep going here. So the 87 from all 15 archetypes, breaking down the numerology of all these through the single digits, ends up becoming connected to this element right here called francium, which of course is named after France. And the Eiffel Tower is going to be tied to Lucifer as well, trust me, which is a big phallus. And there's the mirror of the 322. And this is the icon the Royal Society of Chemistry uses for the representation of francium. What do you see there? The wings moving quickly. Remember, it's light coming down to play the physical game. This is a dead giveaway right here. A dead giveaway. Light, traveling at the speed of light. And even the numerology. I mean, Demiurge, Jehovah, Santa Claus, 30. Lightning coming down. Lightning is 30. That's why I got the big lightning bolt here. Lightning equals 30, folks. This is lightning coming down, putting on the wings, the helmet of the wings, flash. And, again, this being tied to these 4 archetypes, An, Enzof, Or, Enzof, and Zimzong, 30. Okay, from these 4 right here. 7 plus 9 plus 9 plus 5 is 30. It's all right here, ladies and gentlemen. So Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh tied straight up to Lucifer. Okay? And you're going to tie it to God and Satan and time and all that stuff, and the lightning bolt and Zeus and all these archetypes through astrology. But how about this right here? You want to talk about an example of somebody being used? A very simple example of people being used. And it's this lady right here, Marguerite Perry, or Paris. She's the lady who discovered francium. And here's her birthday, the 19th of October, 19 being tied to the sun. 19th of October. Here's her birth card, the 3 of clubs. If you've seen Alice in Borderland, that show on Netflix, this is the Game Master card. It's the 16th card in the deck and matches the word tree. How about that? And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, she's got the birth card, the 3 of clubs. I did a decode on Lucifer. So Thomas John Ellis is the guy they casted to play Lucifer. Guess what his birth card is? That's right, the 3 of clubs. Jerry Bruckheimer, who is the producer of the show Lucifer, his birth card is the 3 of clubs, September 21st. Do you think this is an accident? They're not trying to screw you over or pull the woolly over your eyes, I can tell you that. I can tell you that straight up. They're not. So use your common sense here. Thomas was the brother of Jesus. John was the Baptist. Ellis, the house of El. His full name is 91, which is protactinium, which is the first, meaning the first. But anyway, that's for a different story. But he's got the same birth card as the lady who discovered francium. And francium is tied straight up to the 15 archetypes through the numerology of Kabbalah, which is tied to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Straight up. Which is tied to the tree. And so, how about her numerology on her name? Well, more comedy. To me, just gets funny after a while. I mean, just gets really funny. So her full name is 854, and as I've shown earlier, this is it. This is Kabbalah in a nutshell. This is a xenon bulb in the Hollywood movies, in a movie theater. And this is Earth right here. And it's xenon, the stranger in my head. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. 54. They live. New station 54. Right here. And her name, you need to tell me her name's 54. She discovered francium. Tied to xenon in the bulb. This is the bulb. This is Earth. This right here is stuck right inside that bulb. I can assure you that. That's my truth. So let's get into the last topic now. A lot of jaw-dropping moments for me as I was decoding this. I had so much fun decoding this. Let's get into the last topic now. Ensof, which means infinite, right? Infinite. But what I wanted to do is break down all 4 first. And I wanted to show you how beautiful this is, honestly, and connecting it to alchemy. Okay? So we're going to get into Ensof and break it down because Ensof is 27. But here are the 4 archetypes before it becomes matter. Spirit, and it's the 102 from the compound. From the compound reduction all the way down to the single digits. It's the 102. And here is the big clue. The big clue. Big. It's this element called nobelium, which is where the Nobel Prize. Think about how important the Nobel Prize is. Physics and science. Like, you got to be a big shot to get the Nobel. I won the Nobel Prize. 102. And here's the image explanation. It means master teacher, which is this symbol right here. It says it's and of course, there's the Japan again. Japan is 16. Tree is 16. Okay. And the other big clue is it says the background features imagery suggestive of particle trails like those produced when radiation, light, passes through a cloud chamber, which is down into the firmament and into the flower of life. And the takeaway to this, because I know the tarot, so I saw it when I put this together. This symbol is on a tarot card. And if you're a fan of the tarot, here it is. It's the dove. It's the dove right there. Can't miss it. So it's the Ace of Cups. It's the 37th card in the deck, which, of course, in numerology, I've done a decode on this, the eye in the sky, tied to Sirius. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. So you bring Sirius into this, and it's the shepherd. Shepherd and the sheep. Right? You can't miss it there. I mean, it's right there. Did the Royal Society of Chemistry put this together because they're fans of the tarot? Maybe. Perhaps. But now you're seeing it. I mean, this is clear to me. This is the Ace of Hearts in the Cards of Illumination, which is card number 1. 1 equals 17. Yod-Heh-Vav equals 17. The 17th is the star card. We're all stars down here. It's the dove, the eye in the sky. And then if you break it all the way down to the atomic masses of these elements, now you get into the 17th century secret society called the Rosa. If you're a Rosicrucian, rejoice, because you're tied right to Kabbalah, and Kabbalah is tied right to you. It's right there. I mean, this is called rhodium, and rhodium is this right here. The icon they use right here. It's the symbol is a rose, which is the rose that gives the bees honey. That's right. So this would be the rose that gives the bees honey, which of course the as above's the planets, and then the planets would be us, the so below, the chakras. We're the bees, the worker bees. Be yourself. What do you want to be when you grow up? You see how all this stuff works phonetically? So there's the rose, tied to the Rosicrucians, tied to Kabbalah. Straight up. And there it was. And 45 is Pandora's box. Okay? This is Pandora's box. This whole thing is Pandora's box, but there you go. 17th century, there's, the number 1 equals 17 in numerology. Why 17th century? It's just all right there, all the little subtleties. 17, tied to the Yod-Heh-Vav. So when you really get into Ensof, and kind of like the latter part of this decode, because Ensof meaning the infinite, one of the 4 archetypes here, if you will, as I've said. Ensof is 27, and it ties to heaven, infinite, and then that's where all religion comes from. All religion comes from heaven, which comes from the infinite, which is Ensof, which is the boss, which is the Ponzi scheme. Sports equals 27, currency equals 27. And then when you tie it into Xenon, we now go right back to and this is the icon the Royal Society of Chemistry uses. Remember, Lucifer's tied right to Xenon, and Xenon's tied to the bulb, which is what we live inside of. And the icon the Royal Society of Chemistry uses to present Xenon is this flash of creation, which is tied to the tree of life and tree of knowledge. Flash of creation, which is tied to spirit coming down into physical matter. Xenon, and playing out the movie, playing out a character in this reality called Earth, called life. We're at a big movie set. And then we can also tie the 27 into this element called cobalt. Cobalt is the chaos and order. You get into Isaiah 45 verses 7. 45 being tied to remember 45 right here, tied to rhodium. For Isaiah 45 verses 7, I create peace and evil, the darkness and the light. course, because it's lights, the sun, Sirius, all that stuff, but it's the flash of creation. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. This is all connected to this right here. And then the cobalt. And here's the icon for cobalt. There's the two dragons, the sine and cosine wave. You got the goblet in the middle. Cobalt comes from the German word Kobalt, which is the number 19. And we go to the sun. 19th card in the deck. The sun, and then we have the little kid riding on the horse. It's spirit coming into physical matter. 19's tied to the word battery, tied to the word apex, as an apex predator. Puppet Master's 58. So I got the little hand of the Puppet Master. 58. Remember, it was tied to the 271. So really, here's kind of the summarization of it all. Again, I keep showing this picture because this is probably the most perfect representation of this place we live in. It's a self-contained system. The Truman Show showed it. This is not Sea Haven, but that's what they said it was. You're in the Truman Show. You obviously, I showed that through that 57, and the Sephiroths are indicating we live inside the Truman Show. And this is all tied to light. This is the infinite, tied to Xenon and Lucifer. All right, we're going to break this down, but of course we go right back to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Again, just a reminder, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh through alchemy, through alchemology, is 54. So the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is tied straight up to Lucifer. Are they one and the same? So, well, again, I'm going to let you be the decision maker on that. I'm not going to say anything further. You have the evidence all here in front of you. You got to make the determination on that. The way it is the way it is, right here. It's pretty simple if you ask me. But anyway, when you really break this down, because this is kind of the big takeaway. This is the last topic, the Ein Sof, and it's 2 words, and it's a 7 and a 20. And we're going to break this down because it's going to be the 7 and the 2. But, it's when you do the alchemy of this, the alchemology of the Ein Sof, you get nitrogen and calcium. Now, what's so fascinating is that the number 7, of course, is tied to Lib-Ra. The 7th zodiac sign in astrology is Lib-Ra. You got Ra in there. And, nitrogen has an atomic mass of 14.003. There's a permutation of pi. 14 is tied to the word God, tied to the word time. And then the letter N is the 14th letter in the English alphabet. 43 is the 14th prime number. I could keep going on and on. And, the air we breathe is 79% nitrogen. The air we breathe is 79% nitrogen, spirit into matter, and the matter is calcium. 99% of our calcium is found in our bones and teeth. Go check out my, the great Freemason, Manly P. Hall. Go check out my decode on him. Both his parents, his mother and father, chiropractor and a dentist. Both of them working with the bones and teeth. And what do you think he got all his information from? The Ein Sof, which is Lucifer, which is the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Okay, it's just a spirit into matter. Calcium means the bones. Air into the bones. Breathing air into the nostrils and becoming bones. Okay, and when you add them up, it's, again, Xenon, again, 54. Okay, it's the stranger, the voice in your head. So when we reduce these digits all the way down now for the Ein Sof, 7 and 20 becomes the 7 and the 2, which becomes the number 9. The 9 is the great repeater number. Going to be tied to Sagittarius and Jupiter, so we have to bring Jupiter into this. And we can bring in Abraxas. So there's so many layers to this, but it's going to come down to these 2 elements, nitrogen and helium. The sun is made up of hydrogen and helium. And when you add them up, this was the big clue. This was the big truth bomb here, folks. Spirit into matter. This is the infinite now. Spirit, the light, sun, it's 18.006. And I knew right off the bat, what is 186? Well, it's tied to the speed of light inside of a what? A vacuum. What do you think this is? Inside of a movie bulb. It's a vacuum. Okay? It's airtight. Folks, these are definites in my book, okay? You're not going to change my mind, no matter what your opinion is. Okay, I'm going to stand firm in this because this is my methodology. This is the way I use it. And there's these connections are straight up for me anyway. The air we breathe, 79%, helium from the sun, hello, air and light. And we get it, we tie it to the speed of light, which is tied to Lucifer, and rhenium, 75, which is tied to Lucifer's numerology. So, really it comes down to the 56. When you say nitrogen and helium, it's 56. The speed of light is 56 right there. It's measured in a vacuum, 186,000 miles. It's right there from the alchemy of nitrogen and helium found from Ensof and the reduction of the 7 and the 2. Whew, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing it. And this is what it's all about. Lights, camera, action, the movie. This is a xenon bulb for movie theaters. You're inside of a movie. This is Earth right here. I promise you, this is it right here, folks. This is the biggest truth bomb. This is Earth. This is the firmament around Earth. Okay? Truman Show showed it to you. All right? The Truman Show showed it to you. And so really it comes down to this right here. It's, it's the number 16. It's the tree. See, the tree is 16. Here's the tree. And that's the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, which is 80 and 81, which is 161, which is the golden ratio. Tree of knowledge is 81. Tree of life is 80. But it's the 16. And this is it. This is why the tower is so powerful. On the Aleister Crowley card, you're going to have Yaldabaoth on there. And Yaldabaoth is the Lord of Sirius, which is Allah. Sirius is 16. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. What do you think makes this reality? Well, it's tied to Sirius, and that's how serious I am. This is like the Big Bang right here. The tree. The tree's right there on the damn card. You can't miss it. You can't miss the tree. And then this element 56 barium, because this is kind of where it ends and begins in the whole 9 yards, the whole shebang. Because again, I'm going to go right back up here. Speed of light 56, nitrogen and helium 56, which is found from the Ensof. Lights, camera, action 56. It's this element right here, barium. Barium equals 16 in numerology. And here's the 56 card. It's the 6 of swords. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, represents the spirit that moves across the water. Very subtly, 16 to 56 is 72. There's the 72 from Ensof. You see, from the single digits? The tree of life gets created by spirit coming down here over the waters, and here is the breakdown of that. Big shout out to Gemini on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends. He's kind of was the inspiration of this. He broke down Genesis 1 verses 2, that the Spirit of God is the dielectric pulse, and then the transverse electromagnetic wave is what the Spirit moves, and that becomes us. We chase it. And here is the dielectric pulse. See, this is Spirit going across the waters. That's why it says that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. I mean, it's right there on the card. You can't miss it. 6, of course, is the last day of creation. That's a no-brainer. 6 is tied to Virgo, the virgin. Jesus was born of a virgin. 6 is carbon, which is what we are, the 666. We become carbon, which is calcium. And it's the movie, folks. And this is the absolute in my book right here. The 5 and the 6. And, when you break it down through the chakras, right here, here's my chakras, the 5 and the 6. Here they are. You see, it's speaking the spells, and God said, let there be light, and he's doing it through the vision, or it's doing it from the vision, the 6. The 56, it's right there in the chakras. So you can't miss it. The last day of creation, 6. Speaking the spells of creation, 5. The voice, the identity. It's really simple to see this right here with the 56 when you break it down with the chakras. And it really comes down to the ending of this presentation, ladies and gentlemen, the Spirit of God being 48 tied to the tree of life. You see? Spirit of God 48, tree of life 48. This is what Kabbalah is all about. 48 is the Knight of Cups. 48 is tied to the placenta. Check out my baby Decoded, which is tied to cadmium, the 112, which is tied to the 285, copernicium, and the full numerology of all 15 of the archetypes for the tree of life, and A and Ensof, etc., etc. Looking for love. Okay, the Spirit of God comes down, it looks for love. Becomes the Jack, the Knight, the Joker. How do we get out of here? So the Joker to the thief. So this is my last slide here. Spirit from the Hebrew. Okay, Spirit's going to be 19 in Chaldean, which represents the sun. Well, Spirit is 16, which represents the Tower card. How big this is. Okay, moving, because it's the pulse of light. It's tied to Sirius. That's how serious this is. Tied to sulfur. Sulfur's tied to Lucifer. All right? And this is where it all is, ladies and gentlemen. Spirit of God, looking for love, the dielectric pulse, and then it's movie time. And we all make up the movie. Okay? So this is the Spirit of God. And these are no-brainers here. Genesis 1 verses 2 tied to that Nobelium, the 102. I could just keep going and going and going with all this, ladies and gentlemen, but that's the end. The end of this Kabbalah presentation. I know I could have brought in so much more. A lot of you asked about the Zohar, and I may bring out a part 2, but I just wanted to get to the nuts and bolts of this with my methodology. But you can clearly see that this amazing system is, as beautiful as it is a story that is repackaged and retold from all the other stories. You can go to the Rosicrucians, you can go to the Golden Order of the Dawn, you can go to Christianity, you can go to being a Baptist, you can be a Protestant, you can be Greek Orthodox, you can be Judaism, you can be a Jesuit, you could be a Mason. Folks, it does not matter what organization you belong to. They all are owned by the same boss. It's a Ponzi scheme, and that's not cutting anything short. That is playing tribute to the supernatural. It goes by many things. It's like a huge walk-in closet that a female has. You ladies that have big walk-in closets, you got about 50,000 pairs of jeans. Well, that's why there's 10,000 religions and ongoing, because the first one it got bored. And this is just mankind's expression of it in a different way. It's a beautiful system. But to me, it just means mankind's being used for the movie. You have a movie to play. You have stars. You are the star in your own movie. And my parting words to all of you is, instead of complaining about what you see on the world stage, how about just transmuting that and go create? Stop whining and complaining about life. Go create. Create and complain. They both start with the letter C. I'd rather create than be a complainer. How about you? So I'd love to hear what you saw during this presentation. Keep your comments cordial, because I will delete them. Trust me. No toxicity. You don't have to agree with everything I say here. You don't have to agree with anything I say here. But just be nice, Just be nice with your comments. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. Decode your reality. Until next time, we will see you later.